Hi, it's Khoya from the Canada Game Centre and welcome to day 4 of the On a Roll Upcycling Challenge. Today, we are making this. You might be wondering, what is this? Well, this is my toilet paper roll loom, and with it, I was able to knit this beautiful bracelet. Creating your loom is very easy, and knitting with it is super straightforward. With it, I was able to create this in about 5 minutes. And if I'm able to do this in a few minutes, I bet you could even knit your own jump rope in about an hour. Now let's get started. For this toilet paper loom, you will need yarn. A slightly thinner yarn is more ideal. You will also need duct tape, scissors, a toilet paper roll, and you will also need 4 small pieces of wood. My popsicle stick was a little too big, so I just cut it to make it smaller. It's quite simple to make this loom. All you need to do is take your stick and just place it on your roll so that it's overhanging by a bit over an inch. And I'm just going to tape that down. And I'm just going to keep doing that, and I'm going to space these out as evenly as possible. If you have more colorful tape, feel free to use that. You don't have to use duct tape. You can make your loom very pretty by adding colorful paint, tape, etc. You can make it your own, however you wish. So we'll just add this last piece. And then I'm just going to use one more big piece of duct tape to really secure all of this down and wrap all of that around just to make sure my sticks don't go anywhere. And voila, we have our loom. Now that we've made our loom, it's time to start knitting. So we're going to start by taking the yarn and dropping it down the middle of the loom. You want to have a tail coming out the other end of a couple inches. So with the tail in hand and the loom, we're going to wrap clockwise around one of our points, and then we're going to bring the yarn in front of the next point and wrap clockwise around there, bring it in front of the next point, and wrap around clockwise again, and then in front of the last point and clockwise again. So it should look like that when you are done. The next step, we're going to take the yarn and lay it across our very first point, and we're just going to take that bottom stitch and we're going to pull it over top of the yarn and off of the point. And we'll just pull the little tail to tighten that, and we're going to move on and do the next one. So we've got the yarn on the stick. We're going to pull the bottom stitch up and over that point and tighten that little tail again. And that's all you need to do. You're just going to go around and around and around like so. And eventually your art will start to come through the bottom here. So give me 5 minutes and let's see what I can do. So this took me about 5 minutes, and you can see you get results pretty quickly. So I think I'm ready to cast off. So I've cut my yarn and I've left some slack. And to cast off, I'm just going to start with the stick that would have been my next point. And instead of doing what I was doing before, I'm just going to pull up that bottom stitch and I'm going to thread my yarn through that hole. And once I've done that, I can pull that whole stitch off and tighten it. And just make sure you're pushing down on the other points, as the yarn might want to come up. And then on to the next one. I'm going to loosen that stitch, and I'm going to bring my yarn through that hole and pull it off of this point and pull to tighten. On to the next one. Loosening, going under. And if you have a crochet hook here, it would be quite handy. I unfortunately do not have one. And pull. And then for the very last one, same thing. I've pulled it loose, and I'm just going to feed my yarn through there. And you just pull it tight, and voila! And lastly, it's always a good idea to add an extra knot at the end. So I've already added a knot to the other end, but I'm just going to put a granny knot on here just because we don't want our piece to unravel. But once I've done that, and I've just trimmed the end of my yarn, I'm all done. So there it is. I've got my beautiful bracelet that I can tie around like so. Thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow for the final day of this upcycling challenge to see how I wrap up my roll. Bye for now.